Good evening and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm your host this evening, Carl Dub Scotliff sitting in. My colleague will be in a little later on. This evening we have in studio with us Mr. McLean from the Seacoast Bay Basketball Committee, right? Is that so?
Club,
Seacoast Bay Basketball Club. Also alongside him we have two young gentlemen right here. I think the one in the blue is young Malachi, and the one in the black is Gianni. Now before I get into the young men, I'd just like to have a little conversation with my main man here, Mr. McLean. I know your league been running for some time now, and I know it's getting down to the wire. Give us some information, update us on what's going on.
Well, for the Seacoast Basketball Club Intermediate Men's Showcase League, we've had 6 teams participating, and we're now down to the playoff, where we're left with 4 teams. We have out of the West, the Gunners, number 1 seed, the Filipinos, Albion's Filipinos, number 2 seed, number 3 seed is the Hannah's Triple Threat. They're also the defending champions, and pulling up the 4th spot, barely getting in, HLSCC, coached by none other than yourself, Carl Dub Scotliff. It's been a very, very good league so far. I think that West sort of ran through the league, but we're going to wait and see what happens in the playoff.
I totally agree with you. Who is the West is playing in the playoffs?
West will be playing the HLSCC Stingrays.
Yes, because the last time they faced me, they had me a little handicap, so I hope they're not taking that as a win, but we'll be there for bragging rights in the next game.
Well, Mr. Scotliff, I must say that I thought those guys were going to blow you up by about 25 to 30 points, but I think somewhere in between they got a little carried away with the referee, so you were able to get back in the game.
Okay, I see we have 2 young gentlemen with me. Malachi?
Yeah.
How are you doing this evening?
Fine.
Okay, now let me ask you, how old are you, Malachi?
9.
9. And how long have you been playing basketball?
7.
You've been playing basketball for 7 years?
No,
Or you've been playing since you've been, okay, 2 years. What's the name of your team that you play for?
Jericho Crushers.
And how good are you at your team? What position you play?
Point guard.
Oh, you're the point guard. Okay. Who are some of the players on your team?
Glasgow.
You can speak up a little bit.
Glasgow. And
I see you only play with one player.
no, Dejante.
Jalil.
Charlie, Jason.
So let me ask you. When was the last time you guys played? You played basketball this year? You guys played as a team this year? You played in the league in September or so? You guys had a competition? How did your team do?
Fine.
You guys won?
No.
You got 1st, 2nd, 3rd? Okay. Okay. Now I got Gianni with me. Gianni, how long have you been playing?
3 years.
And who you play with? What's the name of your team?
Money? Yes, Money.
That's the team that you played with before, or that's the team you play with now?
The team I play with now is Real Tool.
Oh, okay. And how's Real Tool been doing?
Fairly bad.
Okay, but you guys are the youngest team in the league, so I understand why you would make a statement like that. Gianni plays for Real Tool. Real Tool is the youngest team in the league, correctly, McLean?
Yeah.
You're the young guys playing against some of the older guys.
13 to 16-year-olds.
Right, 13 to 16 playing against the
Men.
Okay, and they're giving them a run for the money, I can say. So I don't think you should feel anyway. Tell me about your position. What position you play?
Shooting guard, point guard, and small forward.
Okay, and which position you prefer to play? Let me just make it.
Point guard.
Point guard. So now, when you play point guard, can the other guard handle the 2nd position or the 1st position?
Sometimes, but
you have to help out. Now, what do you think? How do you feel playing against the older guys? How is that good for you?
it's tough, but we get through.
Yeah, which was one of the hardest games for you guys? I know you guys played a game that was real close. You lost about a couple of points.
Which game was the toughest?
Lower State.
That's Lower State? When they win by
Game that
3 or 4 points?
They lost by about 4 points.
Yeah. That was one of your big games. And I know you wanted to start scoring out 20-something points and stuff like that all the time, right? No, guys, if you didn't know who Gianni is, he's one of my little younger cousins. He's Maduro. I'm trying to get his father here for the longest while he wouldn't come. But at least I have his son. So, yeah, Gianni, some of the folks that you play with, some of your teammates.
Timothy McLean, Dylan Etienne, Akeem Nibs, Caleb Leonard, and
I hear you call Big Country yet.
he don't play money.
Big Country plays with him, doesn't he?
He plays on Real too. He's talking about money right now.
Oh, okay. I have me excuse. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm talking about the team that you playing in right now.
Oh, Big Country, Willando, Nathan, Caleb Leonard, Justin Salomon, Dylan Etienne, and DeAndre.
So let me ask you, based on some of the players that you have, what you think was hampering you guys from winning
Local
games?
TV.
Wasn't playing team ball.
So a little more team ball, you think you have it? Okay, Mr. McLean, shed some light on what's going on with this small team.
Well, really and truly, I suppose people are questioning why we have a young team like this, kids between 13 to 16 playing against big men. Really and truly, it is for them to gain experience and to build their chemistry. Now, these kids have been together, most of them since they were about 9 years old, somewhere between 9 to 10. They first played in the 2009 VIBD Basketball League that's held by Bash, Charlene and Travis Fonseca. Those guys put on that league from 2009. So they, in their first year, they made the playoffs. In the second year, 2010, they won the whole thing in the 9 to 12 division. And so, in order to keep them together, to develop their skills, and to build a team that would represent the third district for years to come, we thought it best to put them in with the big guys. And the bottom line, get them to man up.
Okay. Now I know we have another guest that's supposed to be coming in the studio. The one I can't wait for. So I just want to say thank you for you, young man, for coming through. I know it was a little breathtaking for you. You're a little shy there. I know my man Malachi stood up good. So Malachi, I want to thank you guys for coming through. So we're gonna be down there on this weekend, tomorrow night. I think you're playing tomorrow. Is he playing tomorrow? No, tomorrow night we have continued games. And we're gonna take a short break and be right back with a word from our sponsors, and we have the next guest that's coming in, okay? We'll be right back.
Effort is the greatest adversary of all. Some people confront it to become champions. Some to lose weight. Some to go down in history. Some to make their mothers proud. Some to feel part of something. Whatever medal you're striving to win, effort will always be the main adversary to beat. New Formula Gatorade, with no artificial colorings and sweeteners, helps you overcome effort. Gatorade works naturally.
Gatorade is distributed in the BVI by Road Town Wholesale.
Welcome back, guys. You're tuned into the Sports Desk. I'm your host this evening, waiting for my colleague to join me a little later on. We have a second part of the show. We'll have Mark Chapman in that section, so you guys just stick and stay. If you guys are trying to make us some phone calls, if you want to get in touch with us, our numbers to call are 300-1949. If you want to text us at 300-1950, we have some young men on the show. You can call them up and hit them some shout out. If you're on the World Wide Web, we have jtvlive.net. You can check us out there and drop us a note, drop us an email, or drop us something. Let us know that you're there. Mr. McLean, back to you. I see you brought brought in the big guns now, the man from the West. Yes. Good evening, Mr. Hodge.
Good evening, good evening.
And welcome to the sports desk. Thanks. I know we have some words passing, but I'm going to let Mr. McLean get to his work first. Well, now, McLean, you were talking earlier about the league. Just give us some more insight.
Yeah, well, Mr. Hodge, I must say, it shows very good leadership, because last year he played on the Handos Triple Threat. They were the champions. He decided this year he's going to bring his own team, which he has done. And as you can see, these guys are creating history. We don't know if anybody will be able to stop them in the playoffs, which starts tomorrow at 6:30 in Seacoast Bay.
So, Mr. McLean, are you saying that we're not going to stop them?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Let's check in.
I think you guys have a shot, but we'll see.
Good. Let's let the public know when to come out.
That's tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. This is a best of 3 series, the first round. The survivors,
first game time?
The first game would be the second and third place team, which is the Filipinos and Handos Triple Threat at 6:30, followed at 8 by HLSCC versus the
West Gunners.
Yes, regular season champions, West Gunners.
Okay.
We really would like to see the public out there. I think that there's some people who don't even know where the basketball court is in Seacoast Bay. So if I could just give you a little direction. If you know where Fancy's Nest is, you turn by Domino's. On your right, if you're coming from town, it's on your left if you're coming from west. Once you get in by Fancy's Nest, you take a left, you follow up to the rec shop. Straight ahead, you'll see the court, right next to the Albion racetrack.
Okay, now I see you have some stuff that's on your shirt. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, SCBBC, Seacoast Basketball Club, Discipline and Health for Success. Well, ever since we started in 1994, that's what we've been promoting, our motto. We want to see the young people understanding that in order to be successful, you have to have discipline. Discipline is going to carry you through in your work, in your play, in whatever you do. So when we talk about basketball, we're looking at teams, we're looking at cooperation, we're looking at people sharing the ball. And strange enough, you could tell some of the personalities of the people when they play basketball. For example, you could see somebody who's going to work hard and rebound the ball, that's a hard worker. You see somebody passing the ball, that's a kind person. Okay. You see somebody hugging the ball, their situation. So basketball can teach us a lot.
Okay, let me get a little talking here to my brother here, Mr. Hodge. Mr. Hodge, as Mr. McLean rightly stated, you guys are the league champions so far, and
regular season
regular season champions, not league champions, regular season champions. Yes. And I mean, in your last game, you caught the HLSCC team handicap. So we have meetings again tomorrow night. So what are you bringing in store for tomorrow night?
Well, Cal, to be honest with you, we were handicapped also because we played with 7 men. So you get belt.
So we bringing it tomorrow.
All the way.
So we for the listening audience, we're encouraging you guys to come out and watch. Actually, the West Gunners team is coached by the Honorable Andrew Foy. And if you know the Brown Bomber, he comes ready and equipped. So it's going to be a showdown tomorrow, like Mr. McLean says. If you guys are trying to find where the court is located, come down to Seacoast at Domino's. If you're coming from town, you make a right.
Yes, that's right.
If you're coming from west, you make a left. You come up by Fancy's Nest, you make a left. You go right in past the mango tree. You're going to see some bright lights out there. That's where the basketball court, that's where the action is. There's a concession stand there if you guys want something to eat. There are bleachers if you guys want to sit down. It's going to be a lot of noise out there tomorrow. So you guys bring your whistles and stuff like that. If you guys coming for the West team, you walk equipped because you're going to get a whooping tomorrow.
Wear green.
And if you're coming from, for you college students, come out and support your college team. I mean, this is the first time we're trying to group a college team together because as you guys rightly know, we're supposed to be having a tournament coming up with some college teams coming in. So this is a way for the team to get notice and stuff like that. But like I said, we got some whooping for our first couple of games. But I know for sure tomorrow is going to be a showdown. We got a best of 3 according to Mr. McLean. We're playing for the best of 3.
Best of 3.
So once we beat them, then we meet the other team, and then we move on for championships. Is that so?
Yes.
So Mr. Hodge said he belted
strictly.
So it's left to be seen. Not my man Gianna. Who you backing? You backing the HR, right? Come on, Gianni. Come on.
The man no better, Cal.
You can't do that, Gianni, man. You're supposed to be working with family here. You gotta work with family here.
I'm excited.
Oh, good. No, that's a better answer. Now, Haji, like I say, you come out, you show, according to Mr. McLean, you show that you got weapons. Well, I intend to shut you down because, like I say, catch me handicap. You say you had 7 this time? But I only had 5, remember? And only one walk in.
5 are your best.
Okay, well, if you want to call it the best, we'll see what's going on tomorrow.
I had 6.
I had 6. No. Remember I then had a 5 trying to get, and then 6 coming.
Yeah, so you had 6.
Right, and he had more than me.
One more.
Okay, so he had me handicapped. But like I said, for you guys, tomorrow it's a lot of action. I know Mr. McLean wants to thank his sponsors for making this
Definitely
possible.
Want to shout out the sponsors. Let's start with Honorable Myron Walwyn, who's been a big supporter since he got into council. And of course, always there at our side, the Honorable Fraser. Want to shout out those guys and tell them that we really appreciate the sponsorship and we want them to keep up the good work. Play to Win also is a sponsor of a team, the West Gunners. So if they were to take the trophy, I guess Play to Win will have their names spread all over the place.
And I like how you said that. I like how you said. With that token, Mr. McLean, you want to share any last words?
Well, Gianni isn't here by chance. Really, the reason why we asked Gianni to be here is because he is really showing himself as a cooperative leader. He's a point guard on the team, but he's there at practice, following instructions, doing what he's asked to do, and willing to learn. So I want to say to those young kids, especially out there, that if you want to be part of something, you want to be successful, then you have to put yourself in a position to be there. In other words, come out to do whatever it is. And also, you have to bring a good attitude, you have to bring a cooperative spirit, and you have to listen.
Mr. Hodge, you want to share some light, I know.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Almighty. I want to thank Mr. McLean for consistently putting on these leagues. I've been playing with him from a little boy. I went into coaching and now we're back playing again. I want to thank his sponsors, Honorable Fraser, Honorable Myron Walwyn, our sponsors, Play to Win, and the coach, Honorable Andrew Foyle, who we hired short notice, the day of the game, of the first game. And I also want to thank my teammates. And we have it out on the court when we West Ham, when we see Cosby. Put it on the side and it's pure belt.
Okay. Now, Gianni, anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Not really.
You good? Now, guys, once again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming through. Mr. McLean, you know, it's anytime. I know after we done, according to him, belt them in the championship, we have to come back and let everybody know who won the game.
Ooh, yes.
So I'm hoping to see you after the championship.
Well, I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah, well, even if you get belted, you'll bring him back, right? We have to bring him back.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and we would like to, on behalf of Seacoast Basketball Club, say a big thank you to you and to Paul on the ball. You guys are doing a very good job in keeping us in the mix, and we really do appreciate it. We want the fans to come out and really support.
Okay, before you go, I think I have a. It says, who's Gianni's favorite coach at school? Gianni, do you have a coach at school?
School?
That's what it says.
No.
Who's Gianni's favorite coach at school? Well, he said he doesn't have a coach. But in the interim, guys, like I said, I'd like to thank you guys for coming too. I know we have a second half of a schedule right now. We have a squash supposed to be coming up in a minute. So you wanted to say something else before you leave?
I just want to say thank you so far to all the folks who've been working with the Seacoast Basketball Club. Wesley, Rushan, Brent, Mr. Fobbs, Giovanni, of course, all the referees, all the scores, the little youth, Shaquille, Delon, Nikita, all those nice folks who've been coming out and really keeping this thing going. It ain't just Mr. McLean. I mean, Carl, you know that because you're there, you see the folks in the orange shirt helping out. Okay, so we're very happy. And of course, we have to shout out Chantel, who's always around selling the drinks and getting the hot dogs and stuff. So guys, if you're hungry, you have something to eat, you have something to drink. So we're looking for you Friday and Saturday this weekend.
Before you go, one more thing, Gianni says, does Gianni see cricket as a viable alternative to basketball? Gianni, do you see cricket as an alternative to basketball?
Yes.
Okay. on that note, I think he answered your question. He said yes. We really have to take a break, and I just want to mention our sponsors, Rotan Wholesale and Gatorade. Speedy's Play to Win, Digicel. We'd like to thank you guys once again for coming through. And second half of the show, we'll be back with my main man, Paul on the ball. Once again, guys, thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
Your moisture-wicking fabric isn't enough. Your zero-weight shoes aren't enough. Your carbon fiber racket isn't enough. The apps that track, analyze, and motivate you aren't enough. Nothing you put on is. It's up to you. You and what's inside you. What you put into it is what you get out of it. Simple as that. You explode into the record books. You show no mercy. You come back strong. You win from within.
Gatorade is distributed in the BVI by Road Town Wholesale.
Welcome back, guys. Joining me is my main man, Paul on the ball. He's here with me. And as a second half of our show, we have also a guest in the studio, Paul.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Carl. Thank you for having me. It's very kind.
Of course. I've missed you for some time.
Well, we also have Mr. Mark Chapman, who is the president of the Squash Association. I'm sure I've said it incorrectly there, but Mark will correct me in a minute. Mark, good evening. Great to have you.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be on your TV show.
Well, Force Death is Carl's TV show. I'm just
Actually, it's both of us. Because when I'm not here, he takes over. So we share the limelight.
But is it the Squash Federation, Squash Association? What is it correctly called?
It's correctly called the BVI Squash Rackets Association, and that just goes back a few years.
I knew it. And give us the history behind that.
I don't know. It was before I came to the BVI, but Ken Adamson was, an integral part. And Ken, who's I don't know how old he is, but
it's got to be at least 25. I can't. Hope he's not watching.
He's still playing and he's still beating the youngsters. So that's.
Well, I mean, I see him out there. It's unbelievable. He does squash training and tennis training.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ken Adamson. I don't know how he does it. I hope when I'm his age, I'm doing the same thing. That's the key. Listen, tell us a bit about
what's going on in
squash, and also lead into tell us about your son Joe, because Joe Chapman, for those of you who don't know, is presently ranked 155 in the world. Now that might sound to you to be well, but he was ranked just a month ago 255. He's jumped 100 places. Tell us a bit about squash and a bit about Joe. What's the secret? What's he eating? Yams from Usain Bolt? What's going on?
Well, I mean, squash is in good shape in the BVI. We have good facilities. We have 4 squash courts. We have a fabulous coach. The coach's name is Joe Farragher Kanipe, and he came to us after the 2006 Commonwealth Games, and he's been with us ever since. And you put that infrastructure in place, and you get support from the community, and things start to happen. So,
one thing Mark isn't saying, Joe is his son, he's been quite modest. Joe Kanipe, who he's referring to, is the squash coach there. Joe was ranked number 10 in the world, but believe me, if you play against him, you'd think he was ranked number 1. I mean, he's absolutely unbelievable. You need to see it to believe it.
I've actually had the opportunity to be with him for a few other Commonwealth Games together. So
you also
so I'm aware of Joe, and he's a pretty cool guy. So I'm working up with his son.
Okay,
and he's real tough also.
Yeah, well, I was watching Joe today practice and yesterday, and he's got another actually 150th ranked player practicing with him presently, which is Mark and I were talking about that off the air. And tell us a bit about that, Mark, rather than me stealing the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Joe, he finished college, Joe Chapman, my son, finished college in May this year. And, you know, his idea was to go and play with the best in the world and train with the best in the world. So he went to Europe and he went to Amsterdam and London, and he tried that for 8 weeks, and he thought, you know, he came to the conclusion after that time that the BVI was the best place for him to train, which was remarkable, and he actually had to go through that experience. And so part of the thing around that is that, you know, he lives 100 meters from the facility. You know, he has the coach on hand that will coach him every day. These are things that if you go and live in London and you've got to travel, you know, an hour and a half.
I've done it.
You know what it's like. So to actually have the luxury, and he just came to that conclusion. What I'll do is I'll come back here, and this is what he said to himself, and I'll bring the best talent in the world here to train with me. And that's what he's done right now. So this guy, Joe went to Brazil for 6 weeks, and that's where he got the points that put him up in the rankings. And he met with some of the best players in the world, including this guy whose name's Adam Morrills.
Yes, Adam.
And he's from England, and he's actually ranked 137 in the world. So he's an up-and-comer as well, same sort of age. Yes. And they hit it off, and he said, this is 3 or 4 weeks ago, can you come and train with me for 10 days? And that's happened, and he's there, and next month he's got someone who's ranked under 50 in the world, a guy called Henrik from Finland. He's coming for 10 days. So it's what you make of it. You know, you go out and say, the only way I'm going to get better is to play with better players and train harder, and that's what he's doing.
So please note what Mark said just now. He said that his son made the decision to train here in the BVI. We have got the best facilities in the Caribbean here, and one of the best in the world because of the weather that we have. So the BVI is the place to be. You want to give us a call? We are live, 300-1949, 300-1949, or send a text, 300-1950, 300-1950. Please send us a text, give us a call, let us know what's happening. Listen,
and we're also on the web, Paul.
We're also on the World Wide Web, jtvlive.net, jtvlive.net. You can watch it live now, you can watch it live afterward, tonight, tomorrow, whenever. We're speaking with Mark Chapman, who is the president of the BVI Squash Racket Association. Get it right. And we were talking about his son, who is now ranked 150th, and Adam Morrills, who is here training with him at present, who is ranked 137th. Mark, tell us a bit about how a youngster who's hearing about squash, they think they're talking about something in miles right now.
What is squash?
What is squash, and how can they get involved in squash?
I mean, to get involved, you can just come down to the sports club and see what's happening and hook up with any of the youngsters. We have lots of youngsters, and we have junior programs going on. And you know, any time from about the age of 6 or 7, you can pick it up. It's not a costly game to take up. There's not a lot of equipment involved. We have access, particularly for kids, access to the facilities. But is this being shown on the TV now? This is the game.
That's right.
So this is Dion Anslem, a good tennis player, and then Mike.
Who we're speaking about, his son,
Mike Adamson.
Mike Adamson. Yes. Joe Adamson's son.
Yeah.
They're playing. Yeah.
No, Mark, you some time ago had a tournament here, one of the squash tournament. You had some.
That's actually live from the tournament.
Oh yeah, that's I was about to mention that.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
You brought some professional players here, and you had a tournament. And I mean, how did that go?
That was it was fantastic, actually. Squash is male squash is organised. Male squash and female squash are organised by different authorities, but the male squash is organised by the PSA, and that puts on around about 10 10 championships per month throughout the year in various countries, and you just sign up with them, with PSA. You have to do that. You pay them a small fee, and then they put it on the website, and people sign up for it. And a couple of tournaments closed today, which Joe signed up for, and so he signed up today for a tournament on the 10th of December in Miami. Okay. And so that's what happens. All the squash players, it's their Bible, it's their living. They go on, they register, and they get it.
Because we have actually had, I think one or two of the players that came here, Paul, when we had a chance to interview them, and they were talking about how difficult it is to get into tournaments in the Caribbean, at least.
Yes.
So
one of the guys we spoke to was Christopher Binney, who actually won the tournament. And when you hear the stuff that Christopher has to do to keep his rankings up in the Caribbean, it's unbelievable. So he said he was actually so thankful that he could actually come to the BVI and do a tournament, and there had only been about something like 2 or 3 tournaments for the whole year in our region.
Exactly.
So the rest of the guys have to fly overseas. So before we finish, Carl, I just want to deviate a little bit here, and we're going to get back to squash. We're going to have Mark here for a little while, so don't panic. But a little earlier on today, I had the opportunity to go down to Greenland because there was a ground opening ceremony there today, and of course there's been a lot of talk about it, and the individuals have stated that they would never be able to make it in time. Well, we actually had a camera there live today, and you can see for yourself, and you can be the judge and decide if you feel that Greenland grounds is up to scratch, if it's made it, if they got it up and running in time. And I'm sure the guys are showing you there's the cricket pitch. So now, Carl, we can play cricket.
Of course.
So the youngster so I hope that Charlie's watching. not Charlie from
Charlie has a place to go now.
Yeah, Charlie Jackson.
He has a place to go now.
And there's a softball, and they've actually done it quite cleverly because they've put the cricket pitch adjacent to the softball pitch,
which is shown right now. Yeah.
Right. And so therefore you can play cricket, and so we can have a cricket league. You can also have a softball league. They'll have to decide what time of year they're going to play, so they don't clash.
Calendar schedule.
Right. Absolutely.
I see that.
And then there's a lovely basketball court, and the surface of that basketball court is absolutely quite fascinating. It's not concrete.
What is it?
It's tiles. It's like tiles. Yeah, it is tiles, but it's very, very good. Much better for the kids, for their knees. So Greenland is up and running, and hey, the government said they're going to get it done. I'm not talking politics here, but they got it done. So
as you can see right now,
the ministers actually took a little game themselves. Unfortunately, Marlon had a little challenge there getting his ball in the hoop, but eventually they did get it all happening, and they did find the hoop eventually. But of course, these guys are ministers of government and not NBA players. So
okay.
we'll have to give them.
Well, I'm very glad to see that's up and running. Like I said, I spoke to one of the coaches up to last night. I was talking about the same court, and he said, well, the reason why he had the East team was so weak is because they have to be moving back and forth. So he said, well, once they're stationary now, you should see a better East team, and everybody's going to want to wear the Rockers uniform again.
Well, Easton is going to be dangerous again.
Yeah,
well, we have a call coming in, so we'll just take that call. Good evening, sports. Let's go right ahead.
Yeah, this is Kenny Thomas speaking, Mr. Paul.
Kenny, how are you? Great to hear you. Thanks for calling.
I am fine.
I see you got a court back up there in the area.
I was so happy when I heard Greenland Field is on the go now, because I figured that the East will come a lot stronger next year because we have a court to practice on.
That's right.
You understand? So you will see a big difference.
I'm hoping that you'll be out there working with those kids, Kenny. And I know I saw you down at Seacoast Bay when we were down there some time ago. So I'm hoping that you.
Oh yes, I will be there. I will be there working with them.
Good.
So you've seen our shots, so you know it's happening.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks for calling.
Right.
Okay, my brother.
Well, before we take a break, if we have time, there's a question here from Mark. Good, from Mark Chapman. Mark, someone send a text and ask you a question. You may not need your glasses on this one. The question is, I'm just kidding, Mark. So it says, we need you back in Little League Baseball. Get with Chitty and the guys. We need you there.
I could have told him that.
So I tried to pre-warn him. You won't need your glasses to answer this question. Any comments, Mark?
Yeah, Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to hear. I mean, I just I spent 6 years in Little League. I'm supportive of the guys, and I can do anything that they want, but I can't be everything to everyone.
No, you can't. Well, I just want to say that when Mark was the head of Little League Baseball, my daughter, who is now 21, played in the Little League Baseball. So that will tell you how long ago that was.
Paul, you were talking. My son, who's almost...
That's right. That's right.
He was also playing.
He was playing. That's right.
So,
both of us, we both are children in Little League Baseball. So, Mark, there you go. Well, another call coming in. It's probably the same question again. Good evening, Sports Desk. Go right ahead.
Yes, good evening, guys.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yes, just call the city here.
Yeah, we just called your name.
Yeah, that's what I call it. I watch your show. And Mr. Chapman is always welcome to be a part of our program.
But you know,
I'll talk to him sometime. I see him all the time. When I see him again, we'll have a short chat.
Okay.
All right, good night.
All right. Okay. Right. Thank you. Good. There you go. You thought you came in to discuss squash, but
Mark is fairly good. He's fairly good at what he does, because I know he's also the treasurer for the Olympic Committee. He's a treasurer, right?
Mm-hmm. He is. Yes.
He does a very good job.
You're not talking politics now, are you?
No. But there's election going on right now.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. I think the election is supposed to be coming up pretty soon.
There is.
2 weeks time.
In 2 weeks time.
So you're not being challenged, are you?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a different topic. But before we continue,
we take a pause.
We take a
Thank
pause.
our sponsors.
Please do.
Yeah, okay. Speedies, Play to Win, Digicel, and of course Roton Wholesale with all the Gatorade that you can drink. We want to thank them all, and we'll stick and stay. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Effort is the greatest adversary of all. Some people confront it to become champions. Some to lose weight. Some to go down in history. Some to make their mothers proud. Some to feel part of something. Whatever medal you're striving to win, effort will always be the main adversary to beat. New Formula Gatorade, with no artificial colorings and sweeteners, helps you overcome effort. Gatorade works naturally.
Gatorade is distributed in the BVI by Road Town Wholesale.
Welcome back, guys. Once again, we're live on Sports Desk. So numbers to call are 300-1949 and 300-1950. If you want to text us, if you're on the net, you can log into www.jtvlive.net. Because here in the studios, we have with us no other than Mr. Mark Chapman, man of squash, a man of many hats. And alongside me is my good buddy, Paul. We here covering squash today. Mark, I know you had some stuff that you wanted to share with us in squash.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you about what's the events that we've got coming up.
Sure, you can.
I mean, the next big event is it's called the Meridian Masters, and that's an annual event. It's the 23rd time, and it's for the old guys and girls. Yeah.
When you said, "Oh, you're talking about Paul age," is it?
Actually, my eyes lit up.
Men and women, did you say?
Yeah, men and women.
Okay.
The women start at 35.
Okay.
And the men start at 35 as well. But there's
So I can fit in there, Paul.
Yeah, the men's and it starts on, when does it start? 16th of November, and it's over 3 days. But it attracts probably 20 to 30 players from the rest of the Caribbean.
Is that so?
Yeah, they come up from Barbados and Trinidad, and we have some pretty good competitive squash. And the men's is split into 35 to 40, 45 to 50.
Oh, it is. Good.
Okay.
It's very cool.
So this is when?
16th to the 9th to the 18th of November. So
it starts on a
Thursday afternoon. It starts and finishes on the Sunday morning.
And this is the Meridian Masters Squash Tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So, what you wanted to get back into a bit of about the rudiments and how one gets into squash. There's a bit more about. I'm just sort of thinking of the kid at home who is listening and hearing you talk about squash. And,
might be some new recruits want to get into it.
Yeah, we'd love to see them. I mean, really, you can contact us online or by actually just coming to the squash club.
So squash is played something similar to tennis, is it?
Yeah, it's very similar. It's indoors, and it's at Tortola Sports Club. There's 4 tennis courts and 4 squash courts, and there's availability, and we've got a professional tennis coach and a professional squash coach, and so it's all there. And and there's junior programs, and if you come up any afternoon after school,
any age.
No, there's all different ages. So all the programs. I can't tell you.
Because if I see your masters, I guess you have juniors and kids.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Now I'm just laughing because I got a very sophisticated text just come in. It's for you, Mr. Chapman.
Oh dear.
I can't use that word. Here is the text. Thank you for sending it. I know who sent it. Does Mr. Chapman see the move of Lloyd Black to stand for General Secretary of the BVI Olympic Committee as politically motivated or a progressive move to improve the BVI Olympic Committee as an organization, as an annual organization?
Wow.
Yes, very complex. Thank you for sending that text. Don't get too complex now in the texts. This is a sports and not anyway, go ahead, man.
Answer the question or talk about
whichever fits your fancy.
Hey, it's an election, and it's not. I'm on the board, and it's not really fair for me to comment
absolutely.
on that.
Well, that's your answer. That's a fair enough answer.
Yeah.
But let's get Carl to answer. Carl, what do you think? Did you listen to the question? Carl wants to answer, but he didn't hear the question.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm lost.
Lloyd Black for General Secretary.
They're asking if it's a political a move.
No, if Mark thinks it's a good move or not.
Well, I can't answer for Mark. Mark, like you said, Mark is on the board. So my opinion is, like I said, it's an election. I've tried my hand at the election.
You
earlier.
That's true. You did. I forgot about that.
And I got a whooping.
You did?
I got a whooping against the same person, which is Dean Greenaway. So, like I said, it's any man's. Who's the best at this thing?
Yeah, best man will win.
Yes, because I think Mark right now is being challenged. Also, he said, like you said.
Well, yes, Mark is being challenged. Well, it's interesting.
It's elections.
Well, the one thing I must say is that the BVI Olympic Committee has been attracting some pretty big names of late, which is good because the standard is
right. It can only help.
The bigger the names, it means that more people are showing genuine interest in the sport, and that's good. Another text coming in. Let's see what this one has to offer. Mark, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Make it easier. No, I don't read that one.
I can read it for you. Go ahead, Paul. Take a shot of it.
I don't know what this one is. It says.
Paul, you have to respond to the listener.
The listener?
Yeah. Listen, we're live from Jost van Dyke to Anagata,
We are, yes. We are live, and the numbers are calling 300-1949.
And they can call in and ask the questions.
300-1950.
But you have to
and no, I have not ever beaten Mr. Finlay in squash or anyone else. No, this is you'd like.
Oh, so it's your. So welcome to you.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yes.
No, but you made a valid point there. The names that are getting involved in sports right now, I too believe that it should be good for the associations and stuff like that. And like I said, normally stuff like that is a one-man show. It boils down to one man or 2-3 people. I'd like to collectively see people knock heads together. And like I said, that was my aim when I was running, make sure that things run in order. And Mark could attest to what I'm saying too. The Olympic Committee is basically the governing body for all sports. And if they mess up, and all the sports are messed up. So I guess, by showing interest and stuff like that, I think it could only be good for the sport.
Is squash an Olympic sport?
It isn't actually, but we had an event last week to publicise last weekend to publicise the opportunity to get squash to be an Olympic sport. It will make a phenomenal difference to a number of things, including the level of funding. So it's voted on between 5 or 6 other sports in September 2013 for the 2020 games, which we don't even know.
What is the highest level you can go with squash?
Well, at the moment,
as far as
it's the World Championship.
Oh, World Championship. So it's part of that.
Yeah. So that's held annually in November or December. This year it's in Qatar in the Middle East. But for country recognition, the highest recognition we can get, and a lot of people can get, is either the Commonwealth Games or the Pan Am Games.
So do you have to go through those seedings before you get to the World Championships?
Well,
or we can just send it.
No. Joe has been to the World Championships and the Commonwealth Games. So no, you don't have to go through them.
But I mean, the beauty of it is that as a squash player, you can make a decent living out of it. Because as a seeded player, you can travel around the world and you can just play squash all the time.
But from my understanding, too, you can get scholarships for squash, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let me just talk a little bit about that in terms of my experience and try to relate it to a 12-year-old starting. If you think about it and you like it, and it may well end up being your career. 4 years down the road, you can get, and it's exactly what Joe did. You apply to a US college in the same way that a lot of athletes and baseball players, basketball players do, and they're crying out for international talent. And Joe got a scholarship to go to the University of Rochester. And whilst a lot of kids around the world went pro when they were 18, he decided to go there to go to college. And that opportunity is available to anyone in the BVI.
So there's a lot of colleges that play squash or offer squash scholarships.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really.
For you listening audience, I mean, for the young kids, everybody may not be able to run or play baseball or basketball, but try your hand at squash.
But this is the
opportunities.
This is one of the points we're making now, Carl, that there has to be opportunities for kids for every sport.
Right.
And this mentality that we had in the old days, that only certain sports are played by certain people, or or we don't play cricket, for instance, the mentality. That has to be a thing of the past. Because who plays cricket? I don't expect you to play cricket because you won't be able to bowl or bat. But your grandson might be able to play cricket, right? If he's taught the rudiments of the game.
I played cricket, Paul.
I was just using it as an example.
Okay.
Or Mark's grandson might be able to play cricket. Or he may hate squash, but as an alternative, he can play cricket rather than be on the block causing confusion. I
would share this with you. Just the other day, I had some tourists from the English. They came in on the ship some time ago, and they were asking about the sports that we play. And cricket and soccer was actually one of them. And they asked us, well, why don't we play cricket and soccer? I had to tell them, well, we're now starting to do it because I know soccer's in the schools.
Right. That's actually an incorrect answer, but I'll accept that.
So we don't?
We absolutely play both.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said we don't play.
No, I said we do play.
Oh, I thought you said we don't play. Sorry. Okay, that was the correct answer. Okay, we're live. It's 300-1949, 300-1950, and we're going to take a quick I'm going to take a quick run through to let you know that Summer Jam 2012. That's Virgin Gorda Massive. It's happening. It's going on. Good evening, hi to everybody over there in Virgin Gorda. We love you guys. It's so exciting to go over there. It's a breath of fresh air. Last weekend, the Young Gunners defeated the Magics 100-85. It was Shaquem Smith with 25 points who hammered, and young Shaquoy George really impressed. 17 points, 10 rebounds. He was cool, so I love them. Orlando Payne had 27 points as well in the losing for the Magics. Let's Get It defeated Game Over. Let's Get It is, of course, Reds Telemax team. Reds is a no-nonsense guy. You let's love this guy. He doesn't smile. He's serious, and his team always wins. Well, they had trouble this week. Game Over, 78-66. It was close, but Reds, he switched around, made some changes, and he had a player there called William Penn Jr. They call him Shobi. He reminds me of the Glove. The guy is talented. He had 19 points along with DeAndre Reimer, who had 16 points. Hakeem Henderson had 19 points. Also, the big game of the evening saw up to the time defeat the defending champs. They lost without set it off. Unbelievable. And Jason Edwin was in the game. They lost, but guess who was there? The glove. The same guy speaking about Gary Hill also. Hear this: that young William Penn played in the second and third game. He played 2 games back to back. This guy is very talented. He's one of the most talented players I've seen. So loved it. 72-65, up to the time defeating. Set it off. So it was a great game. Next week I'll quickly tell you. By the way, Without a Doubt also played on Friday night, and they beat Man Talent 81-75. Devon Watty, my man, Devon Watty, 30 points and 17 rebounds. Devon Watty was big. So coming this weekend, this Friday night, it's going to be the Magics versus Game Over. Game 1. Game 2 is Mad Talent versus Crank It Up. Game 3 is the Magics, a different Magics versus the East. So East Tennis played on Friday night. They've now got their own court. Everything is happening. So you're going to see a different team. And on Saturday night, Mixed Talent versus Top Shotters. Set it off defending champions after their first loss. They're going to play the Magics, and then Without a Doubt play the Heat. That's a huge Saturday night in basketball. VG Stars Summer Jam 2012 at the Jeffrey Canes Arena. Back to you.
No, Paul. As we wrap up segment, I'm just going to give Joe the option of closing out with your tournaments and stuff that's coming up. You want to just let us know what's going on again? With your Masters tournament.
Yeah, the Masters, just recap on that. The Squash Masters is 16th of November. You know, one thing I could say about that is it's a good example of sport tourism. You know, we're bringing people from the Caribbean into the island. It'll be great watching, great play, so looking forward to that. And then, you know, we're going to do the pro tournament again next year, so that's something to look forward to.
Okay, Carl, before we go, tell us a bit about, I have a question for you. Tell us a bit about the players overseas, the basketball players.
No, but before I go to that, I also want to mention too, as Mark just said, we have a tournament that's coming up right now with the college tournament, which is BVI Tropical Shootout, which is 4 college teams that's coming in. It's on the 23rd and 24th of November. There's 2 local guys that's playing on the college team. We have 2 teams from the Florida, 1 from Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands is going to be over. Guys, look out for that. That's going to be right there live. The multi-sports comp. And as you can see, there's a new facelift that's going on right there. The guys are doing pretty good, Paul. I'll give you an update on the next show for that, because we'll be able to call them and then we can talk to them.
Okay, so we haven't got any specific updates for the guys overseas, but we will.
We do, but we can't do it on this show. Our time is limited.
Oh, we haven't got. We can't even give one?
No.
No?
We can't.
The producer just asked me to give one.
Oh, he did.
Give us one.
Okay, so far, the guys at Clinton College are doing pretty good, which is Dion, Kimani. The guys at On Point, which is in Oklahoma, they're doing pretty good too. We have Shamar from Virgin Gorda, we have Ward, and we have my guy from West. They're doing pretty good too. The guys in Sauk Valley are doing pretty good too. Squeegee, the young lady, she's doing pretty good. So all in all,
pretty good.
All in all, I'll give you all the updates because I'm gonna call them.
Okay.
And let them know. But
all right.
So far we're out of time.
Okay. I'm just gonna quickly good night, Paul, for your eyes only. Okay, right. Thank you very much. So that's my point. I just want to remind everyone that Virgin Gorda basketball is on this weekend. Yes, we get Summer Jam, but also the Greenland ground is back up. Please, I wanted to see it one last time before we go. The Greenland ground is back up. It's up and running. Yes, we're out of time, but I wanted to see the Greenland grounds for one last time as we close. Thanks for being here with us, Mark. It's been a pleasure as always. The main man, Carl Dubs-Catley, for always great working with you. He's a great guy to work with. I gotta tell you, he's very flexible. So, Carl, thank you very much.
Next week.
But until next week, we'll see you at the Greenland grounds, and I'll see you tomorrow night in Virgin Gorda Summer Jam 2012.